Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to a new review. Well, for today I want to show you the hardest working piece of tech that I have in my house. Well, maybe after my iMac, because that one does work quite a lot. So this is the Xiaomi Smart Vacuum, and I'm gonna have to put this down because it's just too heavy to hold. So this vacuum weighs 8.4 pounds. We also have a 5200 mAh battery inside that will give you about 2 hours and 20 minutes of cleaning time. And aside from that, we have a suction power of 1800 Pascal. For pricing, well, this isn't exactly cheap. It costs somewhere around $300, but like anything else, it really depends where you buy it from. And that's still a lot cheaper than its main competitors, because you can buy a robotic vacuum for like $1,000. Before I got this one, I was using a much cheaper robotic vacuum. It was called iLife V7S or something like that. And that one was like about $150. And I honestly didn't have any complaints about that one. But when I got this one, I've seen how much better this one is. So the Xiaomi one finishes cleaning my entire house in about 35 minutes. Keep in mind that I have a rather small house, but the other one that I used to have before and I was using before, it took like an hour and a half to do the exact same thing. Now, this makes total sense because the Xiaomi vacuum actually maps your entire room before it starts cleaning. So let's say you have it in one room and you just close the door, the vacuum will actually map the entire room, then will clean all the edges and then will just clean everything else. So basically the vacuum knows where it is and what it's doing. The other one just went around without knowing where it's going. And that being said, with the Xiaomi vacuum, you don't actually get any missed spots. So the vacuum knows exactly where it's been and where it has to go. So no more missed spots with this one. Why don't we start with a very quick unboxing? So the Xiaomi robot comes in a rather large box, and on the front of the box we basically see a picture of the vacuum itself and some Chinese writing, but of course nobody understands that. Inside the box we get the vacuum itself. We also get the user manual. However, the user manual is entirely in Chinese and you're not gonna understand anything unless you have like Google Translator on your phone. Aside from that, you're gonna find the charging base, the cable and a little brush. The charging base looks pretty cool and it can actually hide a part of that cable, so you don't have to have all that cable hanging around the house. So the vacuum knows how to go back to its base no matter where he is in the house. So let's say that he's done the cleaning, he's gonna go back to the base, or if he's low on battery, he's also gonna go back to the base, or if you want, you can just send him back to its base. To set up the vacuum, you're gonna need an app on your smartphone. So you can either get that app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, and the app is called Mi Home. You're gonna have to sign in with your Xiaomi account. After that, you basically search for the vacuum and the app connects to the vacuum, and then the vacuum connects to your Wi-Fi network at home. It only takes about 2 minutes to do, and you basically just follow the instructions on your screen. So not that complicated, and you don't actually have to read the user manual. Once the vacuum is connected to your Wi-Fi network, you can basically control it from anywhere in the world right from your smartphone. And that's a pretty cool thing, knowing that you can control your vacuum from somewhere else. The vacuum will also send you notifications on your smartphone whenever he's done cleaning, if he's stuck or anything like that. So you're always getting notifications from the vacuum. And we are going back to the vacuum. So the vacuum, it's mostly made out of plastic. It's white and it looks quite good at the beginning, because after a few days it's gonna start hitting a few places in the house. It's gonna get some scratches and so on. But overall it still looks good and it performs good at all times. On top we have a couple of buttons, but realistically you only have to touch those buttons when you're first setting up the vacuum. And aside from that, we have a big sensor on top there. That's called the LDS, which means laser distance sensing. So basically that's what the vacuum uses to map the house. The vacuum also has a bumper on the front, so whenever it bumps something with that bumper, it knows how to stop and turn around. And we also have some ultrasonic sensors. And moving to the bottom of the vacuum, there we have some more sensors, and basically those are useful so the vacuum doesn't fall down the stairs. And of course I've tried having the vacuum by the stairs, and no, the vacuum doesn't fall and it doesn't look like it's gonna get close to falling at any point. And back to the bottom we also have those two big rubber wheels, and those basically move the vacuum. And we have the brush, and basically that brush helps bring up the dirt so it can get sucked. You will definitely need to take that brush out every few days and clean the hair around it, because there is a lot of hair that gets around it. Now you're seeing it quite clean because I just cleaned it yesterday, but if you just use the vacuum for a few days, there is a lot of hair on that brush. The top side of the vacuum can also be open, and that's where you're gonna find the dustbin, so all the dirt collects in that dustbin. The dustbin has a capacity of 0.42 liters if I remember correctly, and of course you're gonna have to clean that every 2-3 days, but the vacuum will definitely tell you if that's full. There is also a filter in there that you're gonna have to clean and eventually change, so I do recommend that you order a couple of extra filters if you're ever planning to buy one of these vacuums. So to compare this with my old robotic vacuum, this one has a lot more suction, so this one only has to go over one surface once. The other one had to go like 2 or 3 times, mostly on carpet, so this one is much better for carpets than my old one. Now this one it's much louder as well, but here is a quick sample so you can have an idea how loud it gets.
Resuming the cleanup.
So of course this is not as loud as a regular vacuum, but compared to my old one it's much louder. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just putting that out there so you are aware of how loud it gets. As I mentioned earlier, you can control everything about this vacuum right from the app, so you never have to touch the vacuum itself. Now the app is in English and it's a good thing because we can understand what it says. You can change the language packs for the vacuum right from the app, and there is a language pack for English in there as well. And the vacuum can also receive updates through the app. You can also set do not disturb time, so basically the vacuum is not gonna clean or make any noise in that time. You can check the cleaning history, so basically see where and when the vacuum cleaned and how long it took. The vacuum will also show you, well, the app will actually show you how much time you have till you have to replace the filter, till you have to replace the brush, till you have to clean the sensors and so on. There is also a section that has manual control, so you can control the vacuum by yourself. So if you want to send it somewhere in particular to clean, you can just control it and basically send it there. Now it works good most of the time, but sometimes there is like a small delay in between the time that you actually touch the controls and the time that the vacuum moves. And that's basically because everything is happening over the internet. So I wish there would be like a direct Wi-Fi mode or something like that, because that delay is a bit annoying when it happens. There is also a spot cleaning mode. So let's say that you spill something on the floor. You basically take the vacuum next to that spot and then you press the spot cleaning. So the vacuum will make like a rectangle around that cleaning spot that you want to be cleaned, and it's just gonna clean everything in that rectangle. So it's not gonna go anywhere aside from that rectangle where it needs to clean. I've been using this vacuum for about a week now, and I honestly don't have any complaints about the quality of the cleaning. In my house I have mostly hardwood, some tiles and a bit of carpet, but not that much carpet, but everything is very clean since I got this vacuum. I mean, the other one used to do a good enough job as well, but this one has way more suction and can actually suck way more than the other one. Like any robotic vacuum, the corners aren't done that properly, but that's quite normal, so you're gonna have to go to the corners like once every week or so you can make sure that you pick up everything. It works great in between tight spaces as well, but sometimes the vacuum will get stuck, so it really depends on how your house is set up and what you have on the floor. There are times when the vacuum will get stuck. In my place it gets stuck in the exact same spot every single time, but now I've put a pillow in front of that spot and it never goes there. But you basically look at the vacuum the first 2 times and it's gonna get stuck in the exact same place every single time. So if you correct that, the vacuum will not get stuck in anything else. And it's time to conclude this video. So I'm super happy with this vacuum, and mostly because I got it for free, because if I would have had to pay for it I would have just kept the old one, which was great and I had no complaints about it. But this one is so much better than that one. So if you have like 300 bucks that you want to spend, well, this could be a cool tool to have around the house. And keep in mind, you're never gonna clean your house after that because the vacuum does everything. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.